Hello and welcome to Around Town TV. My name is Carla Beaurline, and known as America's lifestyle and business experts, Around Town TV has been featuring and bringing you the best kept secrets, businesses, organizations, and people since 2003. We are Minneapolis, St. Paul's, the Twin Cities' longest airing television community showcase. And tonight, I'm going to do something a little different. I do not have a guest. Quite often, I get asked, what do you do? They see me in this role as a host, and a lot of people have known me as the host of Around Town for years, and many have met with me as a consultant, or we worked on projects through Around Town Media. So I'll get asked, what does Around Town Media do? And that sort of thing. So tonight, I am going to share a little bit more about me and what Around Town Media does. We are Around Town Media. We are a full service media and production company, and we have the Twin Cities, as I mentioned, Minneapolis, St. Paul's longest airing television community showcase. Around Town TV started its 24th year on air, January of 2026. And many of you who have followed the show for multiple decades know that we were on Emcee, Minnesota's cable network or Minnesota's community channel, nonprofit television station for over 20 years. And then I saw back in like even 2005 and 6, I kept saying, we have to have the show on our website. We have to be online. And as social media grew and websites presence were a must, I continued to push that. Well, the powerhouse of cable, I think about the height of Around Town when we were on Channel 6 on broadcast, covered the entire broadcast viewership here in the Twin Cities. And we were lodged between all the major networks. So people would catch us channel flipping because we were airing almost 4 times a day, 20 times a week. And that same show would air 60 times in 3 weeks. Well, then, as we know, many people started cutting the cord. And that was even before first HD came to be. So then most people, when they turn on their television, if they had cable, it would automatically take them to the 800 channels. And what was happening is Channel 6 was way up there. So not as many people were catching us channel flipping. You could see live streaming picking up. And so even before COVID, about 3-4 years before COVID, I was like, we have to be live streaming for brand awareness, just to be where our viewers are, because I could see the shift happening. And I knew it could take, almost 10 years. And it took a good 8 years. So June of 2025, live streaming beat television. Will it ever be the powerhouse that TV, radio, newspaper, and magazines once were when it was a smaller pie of options? No. However, I think about when the height of it, when 1.5 million subscribers to cable here in the Twin Cities of all the cable companies that were able to even watch us. Now, if you Google it, it doesn't have a subscribership. If you try to Google how many people subscribe to cable in the Twin Cities, it's hard to find a number. And that's because it's likely even less than 400,000. It could be more. I'm a subscriber. I just am, and I probably will be. But I also do watch live streaming shows like so many other people. But this is the cool thing. Around Town TV goes out to 8, this format right here goes out to 8 different platforms at once. If you're watching Carla Beaurline Facebook profile, 350,000 plus people watch this show on this page in a 28-day period. And of course, I have statistics for all the other ones too, but that's just this one. This is my main, where most people will follow me. But we're also on 3 other Facebook pages. We are on LinkedIn, Instagram, X, formerly Twitter, and YouTube. So you could be watching me tonight from any one of those locations, and this format does that. We have a couple other with our camera and crew where we can go on location. and we can live stream anywhere, but also my specific equipment goes to multiple platforms at once too, if I'm on location or here in my home studio. So we'll talk a little bit more about that as well. But again, many people will say to me like, well, what do you do? And, are you a journalist, a producer? I am an award-winning journalist, producer, host, and media business executive. And a lot of the roles that I have filled and am currently available for include brand ambassadorships for various products. Of course, as I mentioned in the beginning, we've been dubbed and I host shows for lifestyle and business as a lifestyle and business expert. And I'm just going to make sure here, nobody has messaged or said that they can't hear me, but I just want to make sure. We have a couple other. Great, good. Because I don't have my team and it's just me, I wanted to make sure. I also have served as a spokesperson representing products, a host, guest host on national television. I have also been both on air, whether it's home shopping or that industry, online. I do a lot of live streaming and a lot of the shoppable platforms. I have, of course, in-person work. And of course, as I mentioned, we have an in-home studio, and I have a team that has everything. In addition to what I have, lights, turntables, whether it's jewelry or any of the categories that we sell. And speaking of which, I get asked that question a lot. Well, what categories do you do? And what segments could you host for us? What industries? Well, there's quite a few. The home shopping industry, as I mentioned. And in fact, I've been in and out of that industry since 1995. And recently, if you follow me, you will see on Facebook and LinkedIn, I was able to get my Jewelry Essentials certification from the Gemologist Institute of America. And the reason I did that is to not only to brush up, I think it's important, but I always think it's important to educate ourselves and stay up to date with what's going on in the media field, hosting, consulting, business, any of those realms or areas of expertise. I think it's important to always educate ourselves as a leader. The other thing that a lot of people you may see when I post I'm an MC. I do a lot of MCing, from galas to polo classics to sporting events. I also served as a red carpet live. I interview on the red carpet. In fact, I'm getting ready for the Student Production Awards that I've done multiple times. And I just love that, speaking to the students and the educators, because that's in my wheelhouse, but also a passion of mine through our Beaurline Family Foundation and my youth program, Leaders and Achievers of America, as well. The automotive. I have been tied to the automotive industry for a long time. I'm an automotive enthusiast. I've done trade shows. I've hosted from trade shows. I've hosted for vendors at trade shows, and look forward to doing more of that coming up. So in addition to that, jewelry, as I've mentioned, I do a lot with makeup, hair, skincare, boat shows, cruising, travel, pets, shoes. In fact, for a long time, when I was younger, I did a lot of shoe modeling because I have a 6.5 foot, which is the shoe they usually have out is a 6 or a 6.5. So I love shoes, and I've done a lot in that category. Bedding, caregiving. Many of you know I was a caregiver for 12 years, 8 years in the same home with my parents, and I've also helped with others. It's something that I'm very passionate about, and whether it's sad or a good thing, I've had to acquire the knowledge over the years. And so I get asked a lot to do and to speak on that. Satellite media tours, and I'm looking to do more. So if you're watching this, please reach out. You'll see my email, carla@around-town.tv above this video. Please reach out, even just to have a conversation on that. And I've done a lot of filling in on the local shows, lifestyle shows, specifically when people are pregnant or left on maternity leave for a little bit, or out sick, or there's so many other reasons that people have to take a leave of absence for a while. And I enjoy filling in and doing all of that as well, in addition to this show. Again, then I also will get people who reach out and say, well, okay, so Around Town Media, I know you've done some consulting and in that realm too. So Well, client, what's your perfect client? There's so many. So I have filled the role and been a consultant for sales management, live streaming, helping companies or people or organizations, nonprofits, whatever, work on live streaming a show like this. We produce that. I love to do that, and happy to help. Business consulting. I've been an entrepreneur my entire life. It's an inherent trait of mine. I can look at a business, all sizes, big corporations, whether it's 600 employees to a solopreneur, and help you with business consulting. Brand development and management, love that. One of the biggest things in my wheelhouse is social media marketing. I love it. Tying that to community engagement. Those two are really passions of mine. I enjoy it. I know there's good, bad, and ugly, but it's really important because it changes daily, as does Google and Google Analytics. So it's very, very, very important that you stay with somebody. And I get a lot of times people will say, well, I'm going to hire a college student as an intern. And great, there's a lot of really savvy, kids grew up with the digital platforms, so they're very savvy. But it's important also to seek out that person that does have that area of expertise, like myself and my team does, that can really help you gain visibility, get more customers, and grow your business, because that's the whole idea. I know there's people who post a post, but I usually have a method to my madness. And sometimes it's changing so rapidly in the algorithms that you have to figure out how to catch it. For an example, LinkedIn. Many people don't realize that that one is changing. In fact, I got a notification today it's going to change again. And recently, to really get your things out there, it's not just the post, but putting things in the comments, which you see a lot of the news organizations do, both on LinkedIn and, of course, on Facebook and the other platforms. We do a lot with video production, broadcast, internet, and live streaming. Storytelling. I love to tell stories. The Around Town TV broadcast version was where we would tell the story of the business, the organization, or the person in a 3-minute format. And I love doing that, especially working with people who didn't have a marketing department. It's the best way to get them to find the main point of their story or what they're trying to get across is just saying, when the viewers are done watching your 3-minute story or something like this, if they can only remember one thing, what do you want that to be? And that alone would get people to really focus in on what was their main point, or should be their main point of their story. Event marketing. I've done so much, from pageants, as many of you know, putting on national pageants, to national big seminars, trade shows. I have also put on golf tournaments and helped with galas. I've been on the Emmy Foundation and was on the Board of Governors, so I've done a lot with that as well, including the Student Production Awards, Red Carpet, and I've hosted and been a fill-in host and host for the Emmys as well. Media coaching. I've done a lot of media coaching, and I really enjoyed that. Round Town Media and our team does a lot in the digital communications space, including SEO. So always feel free to reach out if you've got questions on that. Public relations. We've got so many partners that are the best in the business, not only in the country, but they're right here in Minnesota. And then, of course, marketing, communications, media buying, the gamut. We can do it. If I personally am not the expert, I have a team of partners that I always will reach out or introduce you to. And again, a conversation. If you have a question, a lot of times people will ask me. In fact, somebody saw the certification that I had posted and said, hey, I have this sapphire. Would you appraise it now that you're a gemologist? Well, I'm not a gemologist, but I connected that person to a jeweler that has been a client of mine and will be featured on this show. In fact, I'm actually kind of filling in. I was going to have them on tonight, and they've been traveling. It was just crazy schedule. So I said, well, hey, I could use this time, because especially in the last couple of years, as people really realized that I had pivoted and we were doing the live streams, but also the consulting work, they'd see me out and about. And I do a lot of public speaking in addition to the emceeing. So then I would get, well, what do you do? And I thought, that is such a great question. And I used to get asked early on in the broadcast version of Around Town, they would say, well, I didn't know you were the seller. I have sold 100% of all feature stories or clients into Around Town or Around Town media the entire 23 plus years. Again, we started our 24th year on air in January, which some days is like, wow. And then there's some days I'm so thankful. I'm thankful every day, actually, and grateful to each of you that have supported me throughout the multiple decades. And I'm looking forward to the rest of 2026. I am available for consulting work. I am available for projects, for guest hosting, brand partnerships, anything of your needs. Please don't hesitate to email me. We can have a conversation. If you need me to help you with your social media, community engagement work, event work, anything like that, reach out for a conversation. It costs a little bit of time, but that's about it. And if it's a fit, we'll work together. And if not, I will make sure you are able to reach out to somebody that would be a better fit, or send you on your way. But again, Around Town Media, Around Town TV, and myself, I am here to help people find a creative and affordable way or ways to get the word out about your products, services, organization, etc., and to help you gain visibility, get more customers, and ultimately grow your business. And so tonight's show is shorter because that's pretty much it of what I wanted to share. I do want to, in a couple weeks, but I don't want to overwhelm and confuse everybody, I will touch on our Beaurline Family Foundation, which is a nonprofit. And we got some cool things coming up. So I will jump back on in a few weeks to let you know about that. And it's tied to our youth program, Leaders and Achievers of America. And we're always looking for amazing partners, even naming rights partners, to partner with our trademarked Youth Grow, the youth organization that we've been doing for multiple decades as well. In fact, I started Leaders and Achievers back in 1993. It's crazy to think how that's evolved and where it's come to and where we are today. So again, I'll jump back on about those in a few weeks, but look forward to featuring more great businesses. I will be back next week. And also, I know I haven't had Car Talk with Carla on for a week or so, but we will jump back on with segments of those. And sometimes those run during the day. I try to cater to, especially if it's a car dealer, when they're available. And many times it's Tuesdays and Thursdays, 10 a.m. or 2 p.m. But I've got some really great experts and retired people and great car shows and things coming up. So I'll be talking about that. And then typically this show, you can find us Tuesday or Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. Central Time. Again, right where you're watching it, which is Facebook, Carla Jean Beaurline, Carla Beaurline, Around Town Media, and Carla Beaurline's public figure page. We go to LinkedIn, Instagram, X, formerly Twitter, and YouTube. Thank you all for tuning in, and I hope that you'll join me again next week, 7 p.m. Central Time, right here on Around Town TV. We'll see you then. Thank you.